Total product is also called our total output or quantity or production. So our total product is simply a relationship between our total product and labor, which means how many units of output we're going to produce when we increase labor. So if we have 0 labor, our total product will be 0. If we have 1 unit of labor, total product will be 4. If we have 2 units of labor, our total product will be 10. If we have 3 units of labor, our total product will be 13. If we have 4 units of labor, our total product will be 14. If we have 5 units of labor, total product will be 12. So if we draw it, our x-axis will be labor, our y-axis will be our total product or output, and the blue curve with our total product. So if we check here, if we hire 1 unit of labor, we will have a total product of 4. If we hire 2 units of labor, our total product will be 10. If we hire another unit of labor, our total product will be 13. If we hire another unit of labor, our total product will be 14. So if you look here, at the beginning, if you hire an additional employee, the additional output or additional productivity will be higher. So the first employee will give me 4 units. If I hire another one, it will add another 6 units. So the total will be 10 units. But if I kept adding an additional employee, we'll discover that the third employee will add another 3 units additional. So the total will be 13. For the fourth employee, it will add only 1 additional unit of output, which means the total output will be 14. And if we kept adding labor, we'll discover that the fifth unit of labor will decrease output to be 12. Therefore, we can divide our graph here into 3 stages. The first stage, if we increase labor, our total product or our output will increase at a higher rate, which means if we hire 1 additional employee, the incremental output or the additional productivity will be higher compared to the previous employee. Then we move to the second phase, which means if we keep hiring an additional employee, our output will be higher, but it will increase at a lower rate, which means the productivity of the additional employee will be lower than the productivity of the previous employee. But if we kept adding more employees, what will happen? Our total product will be lower. Therefore, can we get the same concept from another concept, another formula? Yes, we have the marginal product. What do you mean by the word marginal? Marginal, it means additional, incremental, or extra. So marginal product, it means that this will be our additional output when we increase our labor by 1 more unit. So how do we calculate our marginal product? Our marginal product is a change in total product divided by change in labor. How do we get the change? New minus old. So it will be our new total product minus old total product divided by new labor minus old labor. So let's apply it here in our example. Our marginal product is a change in total product divided by change in labor, which is new total product minus old total product divided by new labor minus old labor. So let's calculate it here. What would be our marginal product if we hire 1 additional employee? So get the difference here. Our new output 4 minus 0 divided by 1 minus 0, it will give us 4. If we hire 1 additional employee, it will be 10 minus 14 divided by 2 minus 1, so it will give you 6. If we hire 1 additional employee, 13 minus 10 divided by 3 minus 2, it will be 3. If we would like to calculate the marginal productivity for another employee, so it will be 14 minus 13 divided by 4 minus 3, it will be 1. And then 12 minus 14 divided by 5 minus 4, it will be negative 2. Therefore, if we look at the 3 stages here of the total product, can we reflect it based on marginal productivity? Yes. The first stage, when we increase labor, our total product will increase at a higher rate, which means our marginal product here, we added here the marginal product, so discover that our marginal product increases. The second stage, if we increase labor, our total product will increase at a lower rate. It means that marginal product is decreasing. Our last stage, if we kept adding additional employees, our total product will decrease, which means our marginal product will be negative. So why does this happen? Why when we add additional unit of labor, our total product increases at higher rate and then it moves into decreasing at a lower rate, or even the total product itself decreases? Because we have 2 factors of production, labor and capital. So let's assume that our capital is constant, which means we purchased 1 machine and then we have 10 labors on this machine, and then I kept adding the 11s, 12s, 13s, 14s. So now we have more labor, but I have only one machine, and this machine requires only 10 labors. It doesn't need more than 10 labors. Therefore, I hired more labor, but my capital is limited. My capital is constant. Therefore, these people will produce, but at a lower productivity compared to the previous employee, because I didn't give them capital. So this means that our output will increase at a lower rate. And this is in economics called the law of diminishing return. So what I mean by the law of diminishing return? When you increase one factor of production, while you hold the other factor of production constant. Therefore, the productivity of an additional employee will be lower than the previous one. Let me give you another example. Let's assume that you are a fresh grad and you got your economics degree, and then you have been hired in a company, but they didn't give you an office, they didn't give you a laptop, they didn't give you access to database. So what do you think? What will happen to your productivity? Your productivity will be lower than other employees, which means the output you produce will be lower than the previous employee who has access to capital, who has access to databases, laptops, softwares, and computer. We can do the same. What if our labor is constant and we increase capital? So we buy a lot of machines, but we don't increase labor. So this means that I cannot have one labor work on 3 or 4 machines. Therefore, our output will increase at a lower rate, which we call it the law of diminishing returns. Then we have another concept, which is average product. And from its name, how do you get the average? You need to get our total product divided by labor. So let's do it here. Our average product is total product divided by labor. So let's calculate it. What would be our average product? Get here our total product, 4 divided by 1, it will be 4. Then 10 divided by 2, it will be 5. 13 divided by 3, it will be 4.33. 14 divided by 4, it will be 3.5. 12 divided by 5, it will be 2.4. Let's draw it here. So this will be our average product, the gray curve.